Hello, good morning. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful morning here at ANEKE TV, where we bring you what's happening around the world of sports. I promise that today will be interesting as we take a deep dive to X-ray football, to also X-ray other sports which has been going on just within the past week. And we had Formula One, Kimi Antonelli clinching his sixth title of the season in the Grand Prix at Spa over there in Belgium. And right now, as I'm talking to you, it's been a thing of celebration. I am Gudok Chukuma, the Sports Oracle, and today we will be bringing you live what it is in the world of sports.
Yeah, good morning, sport lovers. It's a beautiful Monday morning right here on Aneke TV. Welcome to the program we call Aneke Sports, where we give you all the details, all the analysis concerning sport, how it went down. Of course, we are aware that the World Cup just came to an end last night, and it was a beautiful moment. We saw the Belgium Grand Prix also, which the man we call Kimi Antonelli got the win, and of course other activities. Talking about the world of boxing, we're still gonna see Anthony Joshua, the updates, because his fight is coming up later this weekend. Mr. Godo, you are wearing red today. Is it that I'm seeing that you are supporting Spain, or you are supporting Spain?
I mean, I have to support who won.
Okay, who won?
Yeah.
So you became a supporter after they won.
Spain. So this is Spanish and
This is the Spanish Aneke. Anyway, how was your weekend?
Yeah,
We are
my
just coming
weekend,
out from weekend.
my weekend was really weekend. It was a weekend weekend.
It was weekend.
Yeah. Because we had to, stream live from Ultimate Event Center yesterday evening, and it was a wonderful time, connecting with the fans, connecting with the guys, seeing how sports could be in real time outside. When Ferran Torres had to score that goal, everywhere had to.
They had breaking goal.
Yeah, it was a heartbreaking goal for Argentina, but it was a consolation goal for Spain for all their hard work. Because Spain really, really deserved that win yesterday.
No, this
If
tournament, Spain had
eventually
deserved
won that match yesterday, I would tell you that the world would not have contained Messi fans. I mean, by now, someone could have just jumped down into the studio and would be telling us, Ankara Messi, Ankara Messi. But you see, it was a good run yesterday. Argentina had no shot on target. They had no they had no game yesterday for real. That's to tell you the kind of quality they had. They had coming to the final. If not for Dibu Martinez, it would have been 6-7 goals.
They could have been more than that 1-0 that we saw.
But shout out to Dibu Martinez, the Aston Villa goalkeeper who has saved Argentina's head for the umpteenth time, and I'm sure that it's going to be like that if he continues at that form, even though I don't really like him, but I like him. At the end of the day, I really want to.
Well, yesterday we could say that Spain proved, or over time they have been playing that dominance kind of football, and we saw it yesterday. This was Argentine side that we know they play very good football. We call them currently in this World Cup that has ended the king of comeback. They always have a way to manufacture goals, especially in the second half. But from what Spain displayed yesterday, I can tell you that currently right now in the world, they can be tagged as the number one team in the world. Of course, they are the current World Cup holder. Congratulations to Spain. And they played, in fact, we are so good that Argentina, just like you have said, could not even register any shot on target. Talking about the likes of Lionel Messi, talking about, the Enzo Fernandez, the McAllister. Of course, Enzo Fernandez had to, get that red card, which we will say probably distorted the game for Argentina. But prior to that red card, even Spain were dominant. So we will not say that the red card cost them, too much danger, because even when they were 11 men, it was complete men in the field. They were not playing anything. They had no shot on target. So the red card coming in, and of course Spain getting the goal in the extra time, was more of what has been happening in the match. Spain has been dominant. So it was a good football for the Spanish side, who displayed authority just like they played over France, where they got 2-0. It was that kind of Spain that we saw, and these people have proven over time in this World Cup they are the best team right now. You can't even get a goal. Imagine playing Spain and you could not get shot on target. No goal was considered, so we have to give it kudos to this guy. And now we are not trying to say kudos to Belgium, who are the only people that got to score Spain in this tournament. It was just Belgium that got or registered a goal. Just a goal. And, Unai Simon deserved, of course, the hand glove, the keeper of the tournament.
Of course, yesterday, Dibu Martinez had 11 saves.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, he made 11 saves, while Unai Simon has made 10 saves across the tournament. And I must tell you that this is not just ordinary. This is not just ordinary. It's going to be, at the end of the day, it's going to be a game.
Yeah.
That for me, I would say that Dibu Martinez and Unai Simon, both
Yeah.
of them are trying their best so far. Of course, they have played at top football. They have really shown that class and quality. But we're going to see where, you know, coaches and other goalkeepers could emulate them too. Could emulate them really. They could emulate them. Talking about someone like Andre Onana should emulate.
Who is on Onana going to emulate? Onana, I don't
Onana
think
should,
he has anybody to emulate right now because for me, he's emulating himself. Because if Onana wanted to change, we would have seen it. Manchester United, of course, will have reintegrated him into the team and said, okay, let's give him a try. But, where the club are not satisfied with you, having to send you back to go on alone, that shows you that they are not ready to take any chances with Onana. I hope in the future, he gets to change and be a better Onana than he is right now. But currently, I don't know who he's going to emulate between Unai Simon and the great man of
yeah,
Aston Villa. So, but nevertheless, we will not say that Martinez did not have a great game yesterday. He really, had some wonderful saves. A lot of shots came to him, and he was fantastic. He had that confidence. He commanded the goalpost, and he made a lot of saves. So shout out to Martinez, who also, gave them the opportunity to even go to extra time, because without Martinez, probably that match should have ended, probably 3-0 or 4-0 in that 90 minutes. But the man had to pull up some great saves and, kept Argentina in the game, went into extra time. But of course, so at the end of the day, they had to bow, and allow that goal to come in. Of course, courtesy of Ferran Torres, who had, he came in as a substitute. This person did not start the match. So probably Spain has gotten more goal from substitute because Merino also,
yeah.
gave them some goals.
Merino nearly had a cracker yesterday.
Yeah.
He nearly had a cracker. Of course, that heading was close to the net. It was close to registering a goal
Yeah.
and sealing the game for Argentina just before the extra time. There would have not been any extra time, but the extra time needed to be played
Yeah.
also so that you could see the quality of the teams. Both teams were ready, and at the end of the day, they could just take care of what's really happening, and it's going to be interesting. I'm gonna let you know that it's a match and it's a game that you have to really see.
Yeah, still talking about this Spanish, of course, we are just coming out of the World Cup. Still talking about this game, we are having to see that Paul Kubasi was the, youngest player of the tournament, like the young talent in the tournament. And many people had anticipated that Lamine Yamal would be given, this award, young player of the tournament. Of course, Rodri had to be, the player of the tournament. So looking at these statistics, I just want to go back to that. Talk, we should look at the statistic talking about the Ballon d'Or right now. What's going to happen? I just want to get a preview. What's going to happen now that Lamine Yamal has won the World Cup, but he was not. Of course, he's not the player of the tournament. He's not even the youngest, what we call talent of the tournament. That was given to Kubasi. Do you think? Are you seeing any possibility that Lamine Yamal probably will go ahead and win the Ballon d'Or, or are we going to say Messi, who also came second, having to be the second, highest goal scorer behind Mbappe? Is he going to be the one that are going to give the Ballon d'Or? Or are we still looking at Ousmane Dembele, who also had some goals in this tournament, being fantastic in the Champions League, being fantastic in his league, taking everything in the French league, coming to win the Champions League, still has an opportunity to win the Super Cup against Aston Villa, still played well, finishing fourth place currently in this tournament, where, of course, England had to trash them 6 goals to 4. He also had to register a goal. So between these three people now that we have mentioned, which are the shortlisted people, I believe Michael Olise will also be part of the shortlist, who also had a great tournament with Bayern Munich, talking about their league, winning the league, of course, finishing, will I say, fourth place, if there's anything like fourth place in the Champions League. These people had to leave the semi-finals of the Champions League. Or even talking about Harry Kane, who also had a fantastic season. When we were talking about last season, one of the highest goal scorers last season, did well, of course, with English team, who had to finish third place. So talking about these five people now, what are we having? What are you seeing as the possible candidates or the likelihood of giving one of these names? Because I know the Ballon d'Or, of course, is between these names. Who is likely to get, the hold of this Ballon d'Or?
It's obvious you've mentioned names.
Yeah.
It's clear that there are names going for Ballon d'Or, but for me, it's not something to start talking about now.
Okay.
There's no facts that we would check that we could prove who would win.
No, this we have the fact already. There's no other tournament that's going to decide it. They have played the World Cup, they have played the league, they have played the Champions. So these are the three things basically that is going to judge it. There's no any season that is starting now is not going to be used to judge the Ballon d'Or.
Well, I mean, we could just talk about this sometime because what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
looking at the way Ballon d'Or has been structured, anyone who did not even win the World Cup could win the Ballon
Yeah,
d'Or.
of course.
So there's no need to start, going around. We know who they were tipping as their favorites, and we know that some of these officials are Messi fans,
Okay.
and they don't have good facts to back what they are doing. But we're going to see what happens at the end of the day. For me, having the likes of Ousmane Dembele, Harry Kane,
Yeah.
even Michael Olise could go for Ballon d'Or. A lot. Of course, it's actually a French-based award,
Yeah.
football award, even though it covers some categories in football as a whole. But it does not really mean that there would not be some kind of checking from the end of Michael Olise, Ousmane Dembele, Kylian Mbappe, Harry Kane, Lionel Messi. Of course, Messi has really done well. He has really, really done well. Coming to the final at his age shows you that he still has that quality. And also, if there was something like playing up 150 minutes, he would not have even given up. He would have fought till the end.
Yeah.
But you see what happens in games. You just predict. You don't control. That's what happened. Now, having also to talk about Ousmane Dembele, I would tell you he's the favorite for this Ballon d'Or because he won the Champions League, but he was not able to win the World Cup. Of course, Champions League at some point, Guinness Book of Record had to declare it as the greatest football game ever. So it tells you that if someone is Mr. Champions League, that man is the greatest footballer ever. But we can't be judging from that. We could only say that at the end of the day, we'll see what Ballon d'Or officials has, what they have for us. Now, right there, where we're talking about sports, we're still talking about Formula One. How Kimi Antonelli had to clinch his sixth title of the season yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful moment seeing Kimi back again to take his victory after twice losing out on the Grand Prix. And Kimi has been sensational, I would tell you. Kimi has really, really been sensational. I'm driving for Mercedes-Benz, coming just from behind to take it further to where to shoot into where he belongs. You see that this guy, he has the winning mentality. Of course, Lewis Hamilton was fourth on the radar of the winners yesterday, but it was nothing bad. It was nothing short of what we expected Kimi to have. And we predicted Max Verstappen being on the podium. And also, we have a surprise.
Yeah,
Charles
this
Leclerc.
one was really surprising, of course, because I didn't want to tip Kimi because over time I've said, okay, Kimi is going to finish, this, and the Catalan, he didn't win it. We saw the Monaco, he didn't finish first. And, it was like he was, having to go through a lot. And, I'm happy that he had to, come out with the win for this Belgium Grand Prix because it's like a motivation for me. It's like a motivation for Kimi also, who has lost out on about 3 previous Grand Prix and coming to win this Belgium. He was not a name that we even mentioned when we talked about it on Friday. I believe we mentioned Leclerc, we mentioned Norris, we mentioned Verstappen. Of course, we sidelined Lewis Hamilton, who had to finish fourth. But Kimi getting the win is something that I see as a motivation for him after all the losses he has come out with a Grand Prix. And of course, Kimi winning first. Charles Leclerc also finished second, the guy that drives for Ferrari, and Max Verstappen finished third, talking about Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton, the man who calls Sir Lewis Hamilton for Ferrari, finished fourth. Oscar Piastri had to come out fifth in that race, who drives for McLaren. Then Isaac Hadjar had to finish sixth, also driving for Racing Bulls. Then Lando Norris coming out seventh place, talking about McLaren. Then, of course, Gabriel Bortoleto had to finish eighth, who drives for Audi. These are just, I'm listing the first 8 for the people that finished, the Grand Prix. And of course, we have said Kimi Antonelli had to, win this race. Of course, he came out starting, from the pole position first. He finished having to drive the race or start the race from the first position. It was something that he was ready to finish this tournament in a good place. And he started where, talking about starting where you finish where. If you had started, let's say, behind others, it might hinder your chances of finishing first. So he had to take a good pole position, starting the race from the front.
Even yesterday,
finishing first.
at the course of the race, Russell had to, collide with Hamilton.
Oh.
Just that's why he was nowhere near the, top four people who had to finish the race. He was nowhere near the top four people. He had to collide with Hamilton. It was something that had to take him out of the race. But Hamilton had to continue, and Hamilton had to move further. Looking at George Russell, are we going to say that, he has been unlucky so far? Watching how he has been, driving, and also the records we've had, not being able to win except the Silverstone.
Yeah.
Talking about the Silverstone Grand Prix that he won, there has never been something so important that he has won this year, except to win arguments on the driver's radio. But really, colliding with Hamilton had to, drop him from the race, and also Hamilton having 5 seconds penalty again. Last time he had it. These guys,
this time again having another 5
yeah,
seconds.
these guys, they drive in milliseconds. Like 1 second could mean a lot. 1 second, they could have moved from here to, just at the junction there. They could have done a lot in 1 second. They could have just, passed through their opponent. But we're seeing the quality they bring, and it's something very important.
5 seconds is a lot of time in
5 seconds is a lot of time.
You could have covered a lot of
ground. Yeah, so something like 1, 2,
taking 5 seconds out of someone that
3,
is driving in milliseconds.
4,
no.
5. Now imagine they take it to 20 seconds. Oh,
that would be
the
too
race
much.
will have finished.
Imagine having to collide with someone during the race, and coming to finish fourth. I think we can say that Sir Lewis Hamilton also did well, having that 5 seconds penalty and colliding with Verstappen is something that he had to finish fourth, and we could say that the man tried his best. If not for that penalty and if not for that collision, maybe you could have finished first. But at the end of the day, these things happen. There was a time also Kimi did not finish the race where he had to experience technical issues with his car when he did not start off well. So these things happens in Formula One, and we get to see it's part of the things that might delay you not to win the race. Just like in football, when you have injury, you go off, or when you are giving red card, you go. So it happens in Formula One. So congratulations still to Kimi. This was my favorite person.
I see your smile.
I'm happy that he had to come out with
I see your smile. Well, next time we will see who wins.
Yeah.
But for now, we're seeing the team standings. Mercedes would not even let Ferrari have a decent season, even though Ferrari has been chasing Mercedes just back to back. Mercedes having 358 points and Ferrari having just 285. McLaren just coming behind, 195. Red Bull Racing 151. We have Alpine 61, Racing Bulls 61, then Haas 21 points. Then we have Williams 11 points. Audi
10 points. Aston Martin just having 1 point. This is Aston Martin, that we used to admire. Of course, Cadillac are still yet to register any points in this Formula One. I wonder what's going on. Is there no driver in Cadillac that they are not having to throughout this Grand Prix? They have not registered even 1 point, and that's not something that we are having to encourage, or something that is going to be good for the Cadillac family. Well, we will take a short break at this point. Let's just go for a brief short break. When we come back, we'll talk about Anthony Joshua, who we already have said before that is coming back. We are going to see Anthony Joshua fight just this weekend. Let's go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about Anthony Joshua, and we'll still talk about the World Cup. Of course, France had to play England on Saturday. We are going to give you the analysis of how it went down. Don't go anywhere. We are still here on Aneke Sports, right here on ANEKE TV. Let's have a short break. We'll be right back.
Changes, markets rise, leaders speak, stories unfold. To keep up, you don't just need news, you need clarity, you need speed, you need perspective.
That's why Aneke TV brings you the globe when it matters most. Aneke TV. Move with the world.
All right, welcome back from that brief short break. It's the Aneke Sports right here on Aneke TV. We have been talking about the Formula One, how it went down. We talked about Kimi, having to win the Formula One that was just concluded in Belgium. They call it Spa, not the Spa that we go to shop things, but Spa is the place where they had to drive, and Kimi Antonelli had to win this time around. Congratulations to Kimi Antonelli. And before we go into the world of football proper, let's just give you the update that Anthony Joshua, of course, is going to fight this weekend, July 25th. Anthony Joshua, of course, he has been training.
Alexander Isik.
Yeah.
He says Anthony Joshua is really training hard. He has been, getting ready for the fight. That he has not seen someone who works as hard as Anthony Joshua, even though he may look as if it's not going to, work as he has been out of the game for a while. But the quality still remains that Anthony Joshua is the man who you should not play with. Having both of them, you would think they just had finished their boxing game, and they were just, you could see.
This looks like as if it's after a boxing match.
It's actually a boxing game, and Anthony Joshua looks younger here. So this was many years ago, and at the hem of affairs, you will see Anthony Joshua still, fighting this weekend. Still fighting Prenga this weekend in Saudi Arabia. And it's been a prediction many people have been afraid to predict, because they have not seen Anthony Joshua on the rings. They have not seen him on the rings. They have not seen him for 7 months. Yes, 7 months after that incident that took 2 of his associates in December. Right now, he is back to deliver at the best of what he could deliver. And I'm telling you that Anthony Joshua would not even escape any loss. He would also not escape any win. He would take he would take both the losing, and he will also win, because it's going to be a fight of 2 titans. Prenga has been sensational just over the time, but we're going to see Anthony Joshua's quality as he comes on.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua, of course, versus Springer is coming up on 25th. Just, this weekend, you have to, stay to your TV to watch that match. It's going to be live on DAZN. Of course, DAZN has promised to bring that match live to us, so you have a platform where you can stream it live on DAZN. We are going to see our own very Anthony Joshua coming back after 7 months after the accident, that took the lives of his associate, 2 of his associates for that matter. So this is like a fight that brings him back, to the ring. We've not seen Anthony Joshua for a long time. So if you're a lover of Anthony Joshua, wait for July 25th, where we are going to see him back in the ring. Then, not just Anthony Joshua in the world of boxing, we are having to see Gasha versus Ben. Ryan Gasha is going to take on Ben on Saturday, September 12th. This is just a month or 2 months coming, and it's for the World Welterweight Championship, fight. Of course, DAZN, of course, is also going to bring this match, and we are having to see Zufa Boxing, being part of the people. Of course, it's going to be broadcasted on Paramount also, and you are going to see the sponsors there. T-Mobile are part of this people sponsoring this fight, and also Arena, and also talking about ring. So Ryan versus Ben is also a match or a fight that we are anticipating come September 12th. We are going to see these fights on your screen. Then moving forward, we are going back to the world of football, where we saw the 3rd place match between England versus France, which was a goal thriller. We are having to see a 10-goal thriller in that match. I can tell you it was not something that we were expecting. We were expecting goals. Of course, it's the 3rd place match. We could say it's less, where we could say it's less of a serious match, talking about the 3rd place compared with the final. But we are not expecting, I can tell you, I for one was not expecting that number of goals, talking about England coming to win the match 6 goals to 4. Of course, the first half was filled with goals. For me, I thought after that first half, France will not even come back to that match. England having to trash them 4 goals to nothing in the first half was really devastating. But the French side, of course, came back in the second half, where they had to score through the man, of course, the Golden Boot winner, talking about Kylian Mbappe, had to get 2 goals in the second half. And of course, Dembele was not left out of the event. That is Kylian Mbappe. This guy was sensational in this tournament. I can tell you, having to break the record. There was a record set, by close, the German attacker, which was also broken by Lionel Messi, having to set on this. This tournament was full of breaking and setting, because Lionel Messi had to break this record where Klose was the highest goal scorer in the World Cup. Lionel Messi came, he broke it, and we thought he had set another record. And Mbappe, of course, in this same tournament, coming to also break the record and setting his own. Of course, he was the Golden Boot winner. He had to score 10 goals in this World Cup that was just concluded, to win the Golden Boot. This is the first time anyone has to score 10 goals in a World Cup competition, although he did not win the World Cup, but he left with the Golden Boot winner. Mr. Goodhope, how do you see this sensational young man, Mbappe, who still has, of course, this is not going to be his last World Cup that we are going to see. We still have him coming up the next World Cup, and these goals that he has set, he's still going to break it by himself and set another one.
Well, by next World Cup, he should be 29, about 29 years old.
Look at Messi, 39, still playing the World Cup.
He should be around 29 or 28.
Probably, in fact, we are not going to see the end of Mbappe soon. He
yeah,
still have more than one World Cup to go.
Yeah, we're not going to see his end. It's just that looking at Mbappe and the quality he possesses, Mbappe has the ability to, play long term more than, some of the players.
Yeah.
Also, his quality is top notch. How he plays, his space, his speed, and also how he finishes. These are the things that matters in football. Right now, we are seeing Mbappe that we all can relate with. Seeing him scoring in every competition of the World Cup, scoring across, the timeline of the World Cup since he started playing. I must say that has been class. That has really been class. It's just that we're going to also understand that if he only plays and doesn't win the World Cup again, that may be a problem. But in the records, he is the World Cup winner. He is a World Cup winner.
Yeah, of course, he has won the World Cup.
He's a World Cup champion.
Yeah.
That's just for the records. And also, looking at his club level performance with Real Madrid, he actually scored more goals this season than Cristiano Ronaldo scored in Real Madrid just in a season. He scored more goals this season.
This guy is a goal machine.
Yeah, he's a goal machine. And you could see that quality always and always. So I feel Mbappe would want to go extra mile to make sure that he does not just prove a point, he lives the life. Because what I see in footballers right now, I see a lot of money. I see where contracts are being offered, money is there, and there's some relaxation. I would want to see him winning Ballon d'Or. I want to see him winning other awards. I want to see him, coming out just being the Mr. Champions League again. I really want to see him there right now, because where he is, he's actually at the top level, and no one has that quality. No, where he even plays, you could see the likes of the quality he plays with. He was going to be playing with Vinicius Junior. And Bellingham is there. Bellingham, that guy too is special.
Yeah,
very special.
In the World Cup, he did.
He's class. You see, seeing what happened in England versus France, there's no question about what character is. Bellingham had to. He got a penalty.
Yeah.
Quansah got a penalty, and Bellingham would have taken the penalty, but he gave it to Saka to know if he would get a hat-trick. Of course, he got it. Now, just at the neck of time for the game to be over, he had to score his own goal. Bellingham is a complete player.
A wonderful solo goal, because he had to dribble past almost 3 defenders.
Yeah, it was a good solo goal. We have seen such a goal coming in this World Cup, but we have not seen Bellingham scoring such a goal much more in this World Cup. We've also seen it against their game, their game against Belgium. We've seen that kind of goal coming in. We've seen how he goes beyond defenders. He comes, he tries to dribble, and his aim is not even to dribble you. His aim is to score.
Yeah,
so
he loves to score.
Yeah, he loves to score. I really love that kind of striker who that kind of midfielder, attacking midfielder who sees ahead. And I'm telling you that Bellingham will go a long way. So for me, Mbappe is the man. He should not even consider anything else than to focus right now. And right now, the World Cup is over. He should be on the radar of getting himself better, improving, playing, and training. I mean, having to become one of the GOATs now. We may not have the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo again ever in history,
Cup,
but we're going to see Mbappe, coming up to flourish. Also, talking about Mbappe, I will tell you that if Neymar had to do all he could do, it would have been a wonderful time having Uh, what's coming to my head is Lionel Neymar.
Tottenham.
Having Neymar Santos Jr. to also play his game, it
Yeah.
would have been amazing having this guy just there, playing. Of course, sometimes someone was asking me yesterday. I don't know if it was you that was asking me yesterday. What has Neymar ever won
It was not me.
a Champions League or won a major trophy? Yes, he has, but we will see that he has had more salary than he has won a trophy.
Yeah, of course.
And he's
Never
good.
has more salary.
He has more salary, and
Well-
he has money, more money than he has trophies.
Yeah, anyway, he still got the trophies in Barcelona. Of course, he got the Champions League. We'll probably say it's just the World Cup that he did not win. And still talking about Mbappe, who I know he's gunning for the Champions League right now. That is just the trophy that he's gunning for, keeping the Ballon d'Or aside, talking about what he has achieved as a footballer. He has won the World Cup. He has that already in the bag, just like Lamine Yamal also has won the World Cup. So the major trophy now that he'll be looking for is that Champions League. He tried to win it on several occasions with Paris Saint-Germain, but of course they could not get it while Mbappe was there. Just for him to exit, then of course they had to win it back to back. So coming to Real Madrid, I believe his main purpose is to win the Champions League. So this season, of course, we have Jose Mourinho, who has been who is going to be the coach this season, and I believe we are going to see a lot of difference with Real Madrid.
Yeah,
Don't forget, Vinicius Junior is probably leaving. We're having that rumor.
There's a rumor that
he's
he would go
probably
to
leaving.
Manchester United. If ever leaves Real Madrid,
Yeah.
he will play for Manchester United. I don't know how you see Vinicius coming
Vinicius
to Manchester
Junior in
United.
Manchester. I would love it.
Now
I would love to see him.
You have qualities like Marcus Rashford.
There'll
Mateus
be,
Cunha, there'll be a-
will I say competition for that number 7, because that's where Marcus Rashford plays. That's where Vinicius Junior is going to play. Then you still have Cunha, who also sometimes plays that position. So I believe it will be a good thing for me where you're having to take out one of them and bringing out the other. So the team will be fortified. Then you are talking about Umbuemo by your left. You are still talking about Zegzi, of course, who is still a Manchester United player. We will not probably say he's leaving or he's still staying. We don't have any rumor on that. Then we still have the Sesko, who is still the attacker. So you are going to see a formidable team, just like knowing Manchester United of what it used to be. Then you are talking about Real Madrid. We are probably also going for Olise. We still have that rumor that Olise is being rumored to be going to Real Madrid for a record fee of probably 220 or 250. We don't have the clear details yet. It's still a rumor that we are going to see what's going to offer. So later this season, we are still going to see a lot. But for now, what we are having is that Vinicius Junior probably might not be a Real Madrid player this coming season. And Jose Mourinho we have not heard anything from Jose Mourinho saying that he is going to love to see Vinicius Junior in his team. So as time goes on, we are going to see what's going to unfold. But going back to what happened in this, what we call the third place match between England versus France, I can tell you that match was not, like I've said, what I was expecting. Of course, many people tipped France to win. I just want to talk about this French side because prior to this time, we were even tipping them to win the World Cup because this was a side that was formidable just before they had to be, beaten by the Spanish side 2-0. But coming to the English match where they played, in fact, the first half was, I don't know if it was France that was playing or another team where you had to concede 4 goals in the first half, coming into the second, the goals by Rice. That first goal by Rice, it was 2. I don't know if they were just looking at him strolling and had to just play a free goal.
That goal from Declan Rice had no.
The defenders just backed down. They were just allowing him to just stroll into the box.
That goal had no stew. The Rice was enough.
The rest was enough. That
was a good goal. But
I'm just looking at that French defense.
I think
yeah,
we are not even getting the question.
Yeah,
how would France score up to 4 goals in equalizer?
They scored 4 goals.
Yeah. I was right.
Yeah.
France scoring up to 4 goals in equalizer against an English side.
That's why I would say the match is more like, for me, it's like a friendly match. The third place match is not something you say is a do or die affair. You saw the match on Saturday. In fact, there was no yellow card in that match. That's to show you how friendly it was. These two sides basically were playing a friendly game, so they were just letting the goals come in if you have opportunity. The first goal, Declan Rice had to just stroll in and take a shot. Everybody, Upamecano was looking, Konate was just there. Nobody really wanted to charge. Of course, they are taking precautions this time around. They know the next thing coming up now is the season where you have to be fit and available. So Declan Rice had to open the goal scoring. Then Konsa, of course, a defender, had to be assisted by Declan Rice. It was a corner kick, and he headed the ball into the net. And of course, Bukayo Saka also, this man we call Saka has not featured so much in this World Cup, and people are beginning to lash too much to check that. Look at the amazing talent you have on the bench, and you don't want to use him. Bukayo Saka had to prove to the English, or will I say to Thomas Tuchel, that he has been missing out on him a lot, not having to feature him enough in this tournament. And he had to produce 2 goals within the first half. He had to score the 3rd goal in the 37th minute, and of course the 4th goal in the 45th minute. That was almost at the extra time. Of course, he was the man of the match for this game. He got the hat-trick then, but with not taking anything away from the French side, who also came back in the 48th minutes where they had to get their first goal with a wonderful assist. We cannot forget that assist from Olise. That was a beautiful pass. Of course, he is the highest assist in this currently ended World Cup tournament, but he had to produce the assist for Mbappe in the 48th minute. And of course, Bakola also had to get a goal. Bakola came into the second half. The second half they made some change. That's why I said this thing is more of a friendly match. Dembele was brought in the second half, the 46 minutes. Bakola came in, Digny came in. So the people they used in the first half, they almost changed, having to change 3 or 4 people in the second half. So the intensity was not too much in this 3rd place match, but at the end of the day, it was a 10-goal thriller where Mbappe got another goal through Olise again, having to give him 2 assists in this competition. The Saka, of course, took the penalty, which Jude Bellingham could have taken, but he had to pass the ball to Saka.
That was really class for me.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Jude Bellingham and look at where he came to play, and when he came to play, it was almost time has gone. It was just after the second half and almost at the end of the second half.
It was brought in the 79 minutes.
Yeah, it was just almost at the end.
Yeah.
Looking at him and how much he would have insisted to play that penalty would have shown you his character.
Yeah, after Harry Kane, since Harry Kane is not in the pitch, he's the next person to play.
Yeah, and also something very interesting to know. If Jude Bellingham if he had taken that penalty, you would have missed it.
Probably.
France would have equalized and win them. Some moments demand some wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy is already 2 goals.
Okay, for the hat-trick.
A hat-trick. He has people, of course, we are not listening to what people are saying, but we know his quality.
Yeah,
that was why he was brought to the World Cup. So can we just give him this ball so that he can score the 3rd goal?
Yeah.
He can take his hat-trick. He can take that ball home. At least it's going to be in the names, in the books of those who scored a hat-trick in the FIFA World Cup.
In the World Cup.
And when you look at it, it looks very uncertain. But right now, seeing that quality that he brings, I'm talking about Bukayo Saka now, he brought that quality to the Arsenal team. He makes a lot of runs, a lot of push, and he dribbles, and that's a proper right wing. I would say that's a proper right wing. You see also, even in the first half, they were made some attempts, and you already see the kind of goals he has scored. It was not just a goal. Now, when he played that penalty and scored, he now had to open Jude Bellingham to know, okay, we can fight for more.
Now I can go ahead and get my own.
We can go for more. But now, let's just talk a little bit about that English game versus France. When I was disappointed with Tuchel, with the manager's decision, especially in the substitution. Early enough, I don't know, maybe Marcus Rashford was injured. I don't know. There's no news about him getting injured.
4 to 5 defenders.
Yeah, he really took them out. But I could tell you that in this FIFA World Cup, there has not been any game, a match like this.
Yes. Germany won 7 goals to 1.
There has not been a match like this.
The 2 sides scoring, you score, let me score. It was more of, okay, are you done? First half, England had to do theirs. Then France have to come back in the second half. Okay, it's our turn now. Let's get some goal. That England did not even allow them to enjoy their moments, having to score 3 goals. Then came back again, got the penalty. Then Bellingham had to put the finishing touch. In fact, that 3rd place match for me was very entertaining. I really enjoyed myself watching that.
Yeah, it was really an entertaining game. I must tell you that I had no doubt if any of them could win. Maybe another team could, but imagine both of them mixing the 2 teams together.
Yeah.
Let's see what we could get from the team.
Imagine to mix the 2.
Yeah, imagine bringing the lineup, the lineup from the 2 teams.
Okay, so let's start from the keeper.
Yeah, from the keeper,
between Magna and Pickford.
No, Pickford. Pickford all the way.
Yeah, of course.
Pickford,
I think
Pickford all the way
is better.
Yeah,
if we go into the defense line, let's talk about the 4 and 5 first of all before we go into 2 and 3. 4 and 5. We're having Konate.
We're having Konate.
Of course, Chaloba did not feature.
Yeah,
so,
we're having Konate.
Yeah.
In fact, we're having Konate.
We can't pick. We can pick Spence. Upamecano. I think the two French.
No. Yes.
Defense are way better.
Upamecano and Konate, because Upamecano had to assist. He gave 2 assists.
Yeah.
On that night of football, he gave 2 assists. Then you come to the midfield.
Oh, you're forgetting the name. You're forgetting Gueye. Are we not going to say?
No. Okay. Let's say Upamecano and Guehi.
Okay, we can.
But we can't be sentimental while we are talking about this.
Yeah, we cannot be sentimental, but I think Guehi has had a beautiful tournament.
Okay, let's say Guehi, Upamecano, and Guehi.
Yeah.
Then by the left back, you have Kunde. No. Kunde is actually right.
Okay, by the Digny.
We have.
Are we going to pick Digny over Spence?
Over. Yes, all the time.
No. Don't forget that Spence got a go in this.
Yes, Spence got a go, but
in this third place.
Digny has shown class too, even though he has signed for Paris Saint-Germain. Digny has shown class. I'm not looking at it from a biased side. I'm seeing it from quality. You will take Digny every day over Spence. Of course, Digny had to score that goal that had to take Lamine Yamal to score a penalty.
Yeah, of course.
That had to make Spain to take a penalty on their semi-final game. But it would not even have taken away the fact that you would see Digny still going for the ball. But for me, it could be difficult to choose between Digny and Spence. Spence being a Tottenham player and has shown the quality too. So we're going to see how he's going to play in Tottenham.
But okay, let's go with Digny. Then on the right we're having Kunde.
We're having Kunde.
I don't think there's anybody that's going to.
Yeah, we're having Kunde.
Kunde is just going to be in that space.
I don't know who is Kwanzaa.
No, Kwanzaa cannot
go ahead of Kunde. Even at that right too, there are names that are there from France. You could see.
No, Kunde should be. In fact, it's just the number one. There. Okay, let's move into the midfield.
So the midfield we have Declan Rice. We have Declan Rice.
Are you going to pick Declan Rice against Rabiot?
Yes, Declan Rice
against Tranemi.
Yes.
Against Kone.
Yes. No. Yes. Okay, Declan Rice. Yes, I'll pick Declan Rice. Why? It's because Declan Rice, even though there was nothing, he had nothing to offer almost all the games.
Yeah.
Which he played a good game, but he had nothing to offer. But seeing how he has been playing just at the back, just at the defensive midfield, would tell you that he also has the quality. He possesses the quality. Why I'm taking him over Manu Kone and Tchouaméni is not just because of their physicality. Declan Rice also has the physicality. He played full time.
Yeah.
He has the physicality and he knows how to go for the ball. He knows how to go for these things.
And he also can score the goals.
Yes, he can score.
When given the opportunity, he's going to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, he can really score. So when we are having the names, we could go for Declan Rice in the midfield. Then we have by just in the same midfield, the attack where we have
Bellingham should be there.
Yes, Bellingham should be there. Then,
and also Olise plays midfield in this tournament. He was not given the opportunity to be used.
The thing is that Olise playing midfield could be just in the substitute of his professionalism as a footballer. For me, Olise is good. He can even play defense. He looks like number 2. So I mean,
he plays the same place with Dembele. So the coach had to put somebody. Dembele could not be moved into the midfield.
now we could say Declan Rice, Bellingham, and Olise.
Yeah, okay, that's for the midfield.
Yeah, for the midfield. Declan Rice, Bellingham, and Olise.
Okay, so let's move into the attack.
Attack.
Mbappe. I think there's no other name. Of course,
Mbappe is number 1.
Over Harry Kane. Let's not forget that.
Yes,
Harry Kane.
Mbappe over Harry Kane.
Anyway, in this tournament, we're going to pick
Mbappe
over
Harry Kane. Mbappe over Harry Kane.
Then
Dembele
by the right.
By the right.
Then who are you going to pick? Because of course Saka still plays that wing. Madueke still plays that wing, but at the end of the day, for me, it's Dembele.
Desire.
Okay, now we are coming to the left wing. Desire Doué, Bakola.
Bakola too.
Yeah,
Bakola. So we have Bakola, Dembele, Bakola,
Doué.
Due.
The English side, they were not specific with anybody.
No, they were not.
You had the Rogers playing, you had the Marcus Rashford playing.
Okay.
You had, so they were not specific. We could not say that this was the particular person they used throughout this tournament. But of course, they are not going to go ahead against the likes of Due or Bakole. So the competition for me will still be between these two guys. You cannot pick Rogers over Due right now. You cannot pick Rogers over Bakola. And you cannot pick Rashford, who did not even have enough playing time over these two guys. So I believe the French side basically occupies that attack where you're having Dembele, you're having Doué, and you're having Mbappe. Sorry to the great man of Hurricane, but in this tournament, you cannot pick Hurricane. Hurricane did well, of course. He got a number of goals.
Yeah,
this is Mbappe, who has 10 goals in this tournament. I can tell you he was the best striker in this tournament. Haaland, of course, did well, but his side, had to go. So any day, anytime in this tournament, talking about the World Cup, where of course we are going to put the man Mbappe ahead of anybody in the talking about the position 9. But let's quickly before we go, we are going to still take a look at the game yesterday, the final between the Spanish side and Argentina. Are we looking at that match where even the great man himself, Lionel Messi, could not register a shot on target, not even a goal this time around, because there was no goal. There was no shot on target coming in.
First of all, I would love to, send my commiserations to the Argentine team. They really played a good game. Of course, they played
a good game basically, but we can say they were busy playing nothing yesterday.
Well, the AFCON was very successful.
Okay, now you're taking them back to AFCON. Well,
no, it was a good AFCON. It
was an AFCON tournament.
Yes, it was an AFCON outing.
Because of course, when they had to play the guys, Switzerland, Messi could not register any goal. Now coming to play Spain,
it was a good AFCON.
There was no
it
goal
was
registered.
a good AFCON tournament.
But when he had to play the Cape Verde, Algeria, he was registering against the Egyptian side. He was just registering. So when he saw,
why are you trolling somebody?
Are you not the one that brought it up? You said he played AFCON. So
it was a good AFCON. It was a good AFCON.
Now coming to play the final.
Yeah, final. Like
where you now had to play
the
great Spanish side.
I would love to let you know that there was no class in the midfield of Argentina
basically yesterday.
In fact,
we saw their character.
Yeah, even
they
in their
began
defense,
to play
even in their defense.
Yeah.
The problem Spain had, I was saying it, I was shouting about the problem while we are even streaming live from the Ultimate Event Center yesterday, while we are seeing the game. The problem Spain had was actually finishing. Lamine Yamal was not meant to be shooting. He wasn't meant to be shooting. Lamine Yamal was meant to assist. He was meant to, dribble, cut in, and assist. But now, the question is, who is he going to assist? Mikel Oyarzabal.
Oyarzabal was not even utilizing the chances.
Yeah, he was not really utilizing the chances. It was as though the game was not, coming together for him, and he had to struggle to even make some assists. Or to even.
I think if Ferran Torres has started that match, I believe there will
no. If Ferran Torres has started, I've seen the Ferran Torres. I saw
the Spanish side who already one goal up and having to concede at the tail end of the match. Then you will not go. This thing will work on their motivation, work on them psychologically, where they are coming back from a match they were almost winning.
They're almost winning.
That thing will affect their psychology.
But let's do like we had to do with Spain. With
England versus
France, and France. Let's fix the.
I believe if we do a lineup for this,
it's only Spain.
I believe we will just be seeing the Spanish people because the keeper now we can say I cannot give it to Martinez. Of course, it's going to be Simeon. I'm going to take at the end of the day.
Simon Kubasi is just 19 years old.
You'll be taking this guy is 25 or 26.
Kubasi is just 19 years
Ramos, and he's just 19 years.
Yes, he's just 19
having to win the young player of the tournament.
Yeah, so
Kubasi, of course, is going to be there.
Kubasi, there's no other person. Kubasi
leads
Lisandro Martinez.
Okay, of course, we are going to face
because of Manchester United.
Then Cucurella
always. Then you have
Pedro Porro.
Yes. Then you come to
moving
the
midfield. Rodri. In fact, the midfield. Fabian Luiz and Daniel.
And then Daniel.
There's nobody in Argentina because Enzo Fernandez now cannot put him there.
Yeah, you come to the front. You see
You're going to
Lamine
bring
Yamal,
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi,
Of
because
course,
he's
you're
the
going to put
legend.
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi, Lamine Yamal, and Ferran Torres.
Ferran Torres,
yes,
yeah.
yes. That's
I believe Oyazeba should be given an opportunity.
no. Ferran Torres, because he scored the winning goal. So
He's got, but he doesn't have more than Oyazeba in this competition.
He scored the winning goal.
Don't forget Lautaro Martinez. Lautaro was a great. He did not feature. You will not see him playing night, but when he comes in, he gets a goal.
Yeah.
So I believe this front. I don't think I want to give it to Ferran Torres.
But we're going to see what happens at the end of the day, and it does not really matter. What I know is that Ferran Torres actually scored the winning goal, and the